Good afternoon. I'm Eric Adams, the Brooklyn Borough President, and I am joined by a coalition of community leaders, religious leaders, and the assemblymen who represent this community, the Dean of the Brooklyn delegation, Assemblyman Jolin Joel. I'm joined also by Monsignor Harrington, the Vicar of Communication for the Catholic Diocese of Brooklyn, my good friend Rabbi Joseph Potasnik, New York Board of Rabbis, Evan Bernstein from the Anti-Defamation League. We have done so many things together to continue to address this issue of hate that appears to be rising from our city and our country. Kashif from the Pakistani American Youth Society, and he's representing our large Muslim population here in the borough of Brooklyn, and Mark Appel from the Bridge Multicultural Project. We are joining our voices to respond to the horrific incident that took place several days ago at Our Lady of Consolation Roman Catholic Church. Our joining together to respond to the incident that took place at the church is our way of stating that the level of anti-defamation, anti-Catholicism, anti-religion, and really anti-human experience is something that is not tolerated in the borough of Brooklyn and in the city of New York, if not our entire country. These statues have been attacked several times. 2 years ago, the statues were damaged after vandals tipped them over. And it is the 6th time in 8 years that these statues have come under some form of attack. I'm going to personally make a contribution to assist in the restoration of these statues. And our message today is both a tangible one of contributing to the restoration of the statues, but is also a symbolic one. When a swastika is painted on a wall of a synagogue, it should not have to be the Jewish community to paint over that swastika. When the Catholic Church is damaged, it should not be someone of the Christian faith to replace it. When a mosque is damaged, it should not be the Muslim community to correct that damage. It should be the groups who are not affiliated with those particular religious institutions. We must stand up and add our voice that we are our brother's keeper, and that is why we're here together. All of these groups, both the Jewish organizations and Muslim organizations, approached me and communicated with me and said, Eric, we want to spend our money to restore those statues. Although they did not deal particularly with our religious philosophy, they deal with the foundation of what we all believe, that we are one race, and that's the human race, and we must send the right message to those who are attempting to divide us. We want to also thank the District Attorney's Office and the NYPD in their aggressive pursuit and prosecution of those who are involved in hate crime. They have sent a loud and clear message that it will not be tolerated in the borough of Brooklyn. And we believe it's not going to be tolerated throughout the entire city of New York. And so, although the church, Our Lady of Consolation Roman Catholic Church on Metropolitan Avenue, was damaged, it did not damage our desire and commitment to heal this city. And this is one of many steps we are going to be taking in the next few weeks on how we're going to meet head on the increase in hate crimes that are taking place inside this city. We're going to start having real conversations on the ground and building coalitions, because the voices of tolerance will outshadow the voices of hate. The damage to the statues, the swastikas, the paintings, the noose hangings, all of those acts of dividing our city will not stand with our desire to unite our city. So I want to thank the men and women of the various religious institutions who are now embracing this important initiative of raising the money to pay for the restoration of the statues that were destroyed. This is our direct and symbolic way of saying we stand with all of our religious and ethnic institutions throughout this city and throughout this borough. And so I would now like to call my good friend and one of the religious leaders in this city, Monsignor Harrington, the Vicar of Communication for the Catholic Diocese of Brooklyn. Monsignor?
Thank you, Mr. Borough President. We're very grateful, and thank you all for joining us this morning. We're grateful to the Borough President and to the religious leaders for their help. You know, the church where the statues was destroyed was Our Lady of Consolation, and that's because the Mary is the one who consoles us. And the fact is that we're very grateful for the offer to restore the statues, but we would ask, instead of the statues being restored, that the money that's being pledged be used to address two problems in our city. There are 114,000 homeless children. Many of them from this area get displaced. So to use the money for homeless children and to use the money to help those who are faced with addiction epidemics. This person clearly was intoxicated. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. So we can help fix a statue, but it's a statue. There are a lot of problems in the city, and we're grateful for the religious leaders coming together. And as Mary seeks to console us, maybe she can help in two big problems we have: the problem of homelessness and the problem of the opioid epidemic, those addiction problems in our city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monsignor. And I want to call on one of the first people we spoke with after this incident took place. We want to call on Rabbi Joseph Potasnik.
Thank you, Borough President Adams. Firstly, Monsignor, Mary was a Jewish mother, so the fact that we come together is an extension of the family. Secondly, Borough President, you're always there. Whenever there's any act against any community, you bring us all together. And when you asked us to contribute, immediately we said yes, because we believe anti-Christianity is anti-Judaism, is anti-Islam. We are many and we are one. This is not just a mischievous act, this is a malicious act, and I think we have to define it in that fashion. All of us have our particular faith traditions, but we're all Catholic with a small c, because it means universal. So we come here belonging to our own and also to the larger community. You see the Hanukkah menorah here? There's one light that's a little bit higher than all the others. The sole purpose of that light, if you're using a candle, is to light the other candles. And maybe that says to all of us that if you bring light and love to other people, you stand a little bit higher. So all of us come here, we try to stand a little bit higher together to say that that desecration is also our desecration. Your pain is our pain. And if you look at the Bible, Adam and Eve didn't have a faith at that point in religious history. They were all human beings. My family came to this country after the Holocaust. One of the first groups to reach out to them were the nuns of St. Mary's Church, because they didn't care they were Jewish, Christian. They saw them as human beings and they wanted to help them. So we come here today, yes, belonging, believing in our faith, belonging to one human family. We are many, we are one. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. And representing the Muslim community of this borough, Kashif, who's from the Pakistani American Youth Society.
Thank you, Borough President. Just quickly introducing myself, my name is Kashif Hussain. I'm representing the Muslim organizations and the House of Worships in citywide. On behalf of the entire Muslim community, I strongly denounce and condemn these heinous and cowardly attacks on the Our Lady of Consolation Roman Catholic Church. We are here today united, urging public to assist the NYPD in the apprehension of this criminal responsible for this hate crime. This is New York City, the greatest city in the world. We have people living here that came from all parts of the world. We will not accept this in our city, we will not accept this in our state, and we will certainly not accept this across our nation. We urge our brothers and sisters in this great city of New York and across the nation not only to speak out against the rise in hate crimes, but strongly condemn and stand up against the hateful and divisive rhetoric coming from the current administration as well. The rise in hate crimes are not coincidence. They are directly proportional to the choices in words and policies that are coming from this administration in the White House. Those who will use intimidation and other means to scare and divide us will fail, because we know that our courage and determination to live in peace and harmony will outlast any hate and fear. I'd like to thank my brother, and I call him my brother Eric Adams, Borough President Eric Adams, who has always been there for us, everyone in the city, especially in the times of need and hardship. Thank you, Borough President, for always uniting us and giving us hope for the better tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I just thought it was important to have both these religious leaders from two different faiths respond to this incident, and I think no one has had a louder voice around tolerance than the Anti-Defamation League, and so my friend Evan Bernstein.
Thank you, Borough President. Thank you, Monsignor, Rabbi. We know the hate is affecting the Jewish community. We've seen the number of anti-Semitic assaults that have happened here in Brooklyn in the recent weeks. But I think this is a reminder of the desecration of this church. The hate is universal. It's not just a Jewish problem. And when our Catholic brothers and sisters are affected in this way, it's the job of our organization, which has a dual mission: stop the defamation of the Jewish people, secure justice and fair treatment for all, and we take the all very seriously. I personally will make a pledge to homelessness on behalf of the Catholic Church, thanks to Monsignor's recommendation. It's our job to stand up. We're standing here at the 90th precinct. We know that law enforcement is doing everything in their power to keep Brooklyn safe, the Jewish community, the non-Jewish community, and we thank them for all that they're doing. We thank the Borough President's office for all that he's doing, all the other community leaders. But it's our job as a community to understand that hate is on the rise and that people are being affected by these acts of hate. There's a fear in our community. They're not sure where the next incident's going to take place, whether it's their church, their mosque, their synagogue. And it's our job to continue to push back, and we look forward to our continued partnership with the Borough President's office in pushing back on that hate so it is not normalized. We are seeing normalization of hate in our society, and it cannot continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And the Dean of Brooklyn Delegation and representing this district, Assemblyman Jolin Joel.
Thank you, Borough President Adams, and thank you. Wait for the train to pass. Hundreds of years ago, the Jewish temple was destroyed. Maybe thousands of years ago, Rabbi. I'm not up on my Jewish history, but I do know it was rebuilt again, and that's what we're celebrating on this third day of Hanukkah, the rebuilding of the temple. And we will have to rebuild again. But the climate is not an easy one these days, ladies and gentlemen, to build a program of faith and understanding of all faiths. And I want to commend the Borough President for bringing most of the faiths that represent New York City together, because that's what we should be doing. Now, this happened at Our Lady of Consolation, a Polish church that is frequented mostly by Polish immigrants who came from Poland. And they had to suffer in Poland not being able to worship because of the communist regime that was alive and well for many years, populating the government of Poland. Now that they come to the United States and are able to worship freely, what happens to them? They have to live with 6 years of desecration of their statues in front of their church, telling them that even in the United States of America, we don't have the freedom of worship. It's a terrible idea to be disseminating. Children in our schools learn one thing: not to hate. But yet it seems to be carefully taught elsewhere, whether it's in their family or in the street, that they begin to hate. And we have to stamp that out. But it's not an easy task when we have a country now that seems to be tolerant of hate. And that's the important message that I think we ought to impart today. Our leaders don't want to carefully teach our children to hate. We want them to teach them to love, not hate. And our message here on the third day of Hanukkah is that we will continue to love. And I will also make a contribution to my Polish church, Our Lady of Consolation, if they want me to, and also to the homeless. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And our last speaker, who's doing an amazing job about continuing to build the bridges in our multicultural environment, Mark Appel from the Bridge Multicultural Project.
Thank you very much, Borough President. Yesterday's attack on this statue may have broken the statue physically, but it will never break our spirits. It'll never break the spirits of New Yorkers that are united. This past year, with so many hate crimes, we were proud to march with the Borough President in Bay Ridge when we had Islamic phobia attacks, when the 9-year-old African American was attacked in a grocery store, when the Jewish man attacked in the Crown Heights. We marched. And the city of New York, the residents in the city of New York, are strong and united as ever. And this will not break our spirits. This will make us stronger. It will make us a better community and a more united community. So thank you, Borough President, for leading that initiative. As the founder of the bridge, I will be making a contribution to this effort for the homeless and to rebuild the statue. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you. And our voices are clear. Several days ago, when an individual who may have been intoxicated desecrated a statue and destroyed that statue, we don't believe you can hide behind alcoholism as to protect your hatred. When that statue was destroyed, the coming together and the destruction of a symbol for the Catholic faith, those of us who are Jewish, who are Muslim, who are Sikh, who are of a different faith, are coming together as one to symbolically contribute to rebuild the statue and contribute to those issues that are pressing in our community, such as homelessness and opioid abuse, but also to show that that rebuilding of that statue is the symbol of how we will continue to rebuild the faith of our communities and the coming together of our communities. Our voice will be clear and loud that we are a country of tolerance and not division. And I want to thank all that have joined us today to join us in that voice and that statement. During this season, when we acknowledge the most significant part of our religious philosophy, it is also the season that we reunite ourselves with the basic principles of those religious philosophies. Thank you. We'll open up to any questions at this time if there are any. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're always there for everybody.
Thanks very much. Pleasure.
That's why he's the dean.
Thank you.